everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Plus, we're on potentially 60 wins hanging in the balance. This is quite an interesting start. N87D RCPW with amazing stats. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. This run feels like I'm being targeted. They gave me a run with great stats and then said, you know what? Here's the D4. People won't respect you unless you use that D4. I gotta be honest with you. It's a temptress. It's a siren begging me to dash me, myself, and my streak on the rocks. And even though I know it's a siren, there's a part of me going, yeah, the boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. Here's my thinking right now. I'm taking some time to puzzle it out with the conscious brain. We just cannot afford to roll yet. Though it will pain me to say it a great deal. It can't be done. It's too early. It's too spicy. We've only got 2 items. You never know how it's going to go. You know, if you roll into 2 terrible items, you're screwed. So I think what I'm going to say to you right now is I make no promises we'll be doing any rerolls here. But I would like to. In order to do that, we need the game to meet us with some conditions. One would be more items, which the game cannot help but fulfill. Another one would be an early respawn, so that no matter what happens, like if we get 9 lives, we've got a life, in case things go wrong. If we get, you know, Judas' Shadow, we got a life, in case something goes wrong. But I need that assurance. It has to be money on my end, otherwise no freaking deal. Plus, that was bad. It's weird, because I always want to, like, reroll a run until... Oh, no. Until we get a fun run. This one has started pre-fund, you know? Static Tears is amazing. So, you know, screw that. You see how much damage we took on this floor? With a good run, I'm not re-rolling. I'm not freaking rolling. I'm not freaking rolling! Okay. Okay, just calm down. Just calm down here. Everything's fine. We're just gonna stay pogged and enjoy life and have a good time. We could always re-roll a little bit later if we choose. Oh, X-ray goggles. Forgot this item existed. Did I not just... Oh, it was in the other room. Okay, fair enough. I thought I was losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my mind. Losing my mind. Wish somebody would get me some fries. This is my plastic fork. That's not an original. I mean, the fries part I think is an original, but this is my plastic fork is as an old school internet joke. In case you weren't around for those days, and if you let's be honest, if you remember them, oh, you weren't really there. Nothing doing there. Man, it would be so easy to mind freak me into rolling. You know, all you'd have to give me, and I know this is weird because the HP wouldn't even stick with us during a roll necessarily. Spirit Hearts do, though. So I guess that's the difference maker there. Pretty solid dodges there. Don't get me wrong. But if we just got, like, real HP instead of this surrogate HP, I would very much be potentially more tempted. Tempted by the dice of the pyramid. Not too many words rhyme with pyramid. I was landing on spearmints, but I don't know if that's gonna make any sense. So I doesn't appear it, but it's been going on since you've been gone. Okay. Anyway, what the heck am I talking about? I don't know, okay? I'm running into enemies. I think I've also made a personal resolution here. We will probably not take a deal with the devil. It would have to be something that gives us enough HP back to be worth it, or respawns. Either one of those would be fine. Alternatively, if we got HP from the boss, which we didn't. Not Krampus, please. Ooh, that's like super not worth it. That's like one of the easiest decisions I've ever made in my whole life. That was easier than deciding what to eat for breakfast this morning, and I eat the same thing for breakfast every single day. So that's how easy that was, in case you were curious. We can't even get into our shop here, so let's not sweat that. Let's just head down to the next floor. I mean, I was talking to myself. I was like, what are we going to do with this moon card? And I realized, sorry, I got a pre-Isaac stretch. That's a weird one. Whew. But I was thinking, what are we going to do with this moon card? And I realized we really only have a use for it as a teleporter. It serves no other functional purpose for us because we can get into every other secret room on our own merits. This run right now is spiced. Can I tell you, there is a flip side benefit to the D4 that is rarely talked about outside of runs as the Lost. And that's if you're already going to die, the D4 can spin your death. Even if the base level foundation of your run is great, you know, good max HP, good rate of fire, good damage, stuff like that. Even if that stuff's good, if you truly believe you're going to die, you can D4 and throw like one Hail Mary to see what you get. And oftentimes, you know, it can give you, if not a better run, at least a burst of HP that can allow you to keep it moving to try to keep the win alive. I don't think we're there yet, but with 3.5 HP, and I'll own up to the fact that I lost a lot of HP on this run. That should not have been lost, but with 3.5 HP, we have to accept that there is a possibility there that this item that normally is here for the Zane, or to destroy us, could possibly save us in its own way. How about that? Wouldn't that be something? Anyway. Oh, hold on, if you'll excuse me. I have some Discord messages. Oh, they're Golden Goblet Discord messages. About Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is just... You don't want me to go off on a rant about Kid Icarus. Because here's the thing. I understand that in very, very small circles, it is a beloved game. Apart from that, I think it's just one of those games where people are like, it's a classic. And then you're like, why? And then people are like, Pit's in Smash Bros. They wouldn't have put him in Smash Bros. If it wasn't a classic. And I'm like, excuse me, streamer. That's fallacious circular reasoning. You're begging the question. Okay. Get Magic Mushed, please. He has not done it. Here's my problem with Kid Icarus, okay? There's two collectibles in that game. Hearts and wine. If you had to guess which one of those gave you money and which one of those gave you HP, you would be right, because you're astute enough to understand that the only reason I would ever ask you that question is if they were bass-ackwards. You know what I mean? Yes, the wine refills your HP, just like in real life, right, Mom? And then, my mom doesn't drink very much. It's just a good opportunity for a joke. And the hearts, which normally you would think would be your HP, because in every other game ever made, that's what they do. Your hearts are your currency instead. Imagine that. Anyway, I don't think it's bad. I just think, you know, it's from an earlier time. It was a time before all that stuff was ISO 9001 standardized and certified. You know what I mean? It's right outside your door now, sir. That boom, damn, boom, brown out. It's going down, boom, boom, brown out. You know I'm tempted to roll. I was extraordinarily tempted to hit him with the roll on that one. It's tough. I mean, the run is not tough. Like, Dead Dove is very nice for us. And, you know, no matter what, we do have static tiers. If we could up our... Honestly, if we could up our range, I think static tiers... rate of fire would also help out a great deal, don't get me wrong. But if we could up our range, these static tiers could be a real solid damage dealer for us, if they're not already. That's very nice as well. But we are kind of offensively... Not bad, but limited is probably a good way to describe it. We're offensively limited right now. But I'm still like, I'm a little shell-shocked from that last run, honestly. I didn't die, obviously, but I did kind of have to come to terms with the fact... Oh, good. All our problems are solved. It's a GB bug, an item that does frickin' nothing. That was not smart. We've lost our Eternal Heart, and I deserve to, as much as it pains me to say. But on that last run, we almost died with Epic Fetus. How did it happen? Well, we almost died. Let's not be too dramatic. How did it happen? It's just not a 1 in a million situation. With static tears, I'm sorry. We have to. It has to be done. Yeah, we'll take Ansus. Basically... Oh, that's so nice. The way it all went down, we thought we had amazing damage because of the fact that we had Epic Fetus and Crown of Light. What we forgot is that if we ever get hit, Crown of Light becomes also stinky. And then, well, I mean, it becomes useless. And it reveals our previous damage for what it was, which was 4.03. Which is not where you want to be against Mega Satan. Now, luckily, we had a lot of HP. And luckily, Epic Fetus, you know, still pretty great. But, it got spicier than I ever would have thought was plausible. This run, on the other hand, is so very, very close to being pretty much like an automatic win. And you're gonna say that I've lost my mind, and mere moments ago, I would not have agreed with myself in that assessment. But Tammy's Head Static Tears is doing incredible work for us, as you can see. And this is one of the few runs, honestly, I don't feel like guilty about taking Tammy's Head. Because we avoided a lot of caveats that would have rendered it pretty much inert, you know? It's fine. We took it. We gotta, we do the time, you do the crime, right? I'll give it a shot here. It's worth it for the nickel, I think. And we got the Spirit Heart anyway, which is amazing. Get me out of here. I didn't want any of the items on the shop. I didn't think they were good enough. I got a little sneeze percolating in the tip of the nose. Give me a moment. Oh, no. Oh, it disappeared. You hate to get a sneeze in the middle of talking for that specific reason right there. Alright, get me out of here. This is good stuff. We actually made great time there, which is a little surprising to me as well. Dang Depths XL. So this is the perfect situation in which to find like a 5-room or a Forget-Me-Now. Preferably a 5-room so we don't lose Tammy's Head. We could do like 4 boss rushes here. But anyway, yeah, it's still Monday. Things still going well. Excuse me? It's the boss? Somebody call for me? Not you, Bruce. I was born in the... I was called, then I went away. I was called, then I went away. Turns out it was a false alarm on this Monday. I was... Oh, why don't you go write a song about it, Bruce? It's a range upgrade. Specifically what I asked for, and then when I got it, I was like, this sucks. You know what we need? And actually, this is next level. We don't control it. What we need is piercing shots, because then when we hit an enemy, the static power won't dissipate. And we'll be off to the frickin' races, dude. Because it's kind of hard to do what you want to do with Tammy's Head Static Tears, which is shoot to miss. I don't have that kind of Isaac know-how. But anyway, how are things going? They're going well. We're just, you know, planning dockets for Monday here. Had a solid weekend, as mentioned. Looking forward to, hopefully, a little bit more of a low-key week here. I like to stay busy, but last week and the weekend were honestly a little bit too busy for me. Let me put it this way. You might have heard me last week, which is now like 2.5 to 3 weeks ago by the time you're watching this, but you might have heard me last week being like, oh man, I can't wait to get a key for Valorant. I want to play it so much. I got a key for Valorant on Thursday, or on Friday morning. Is now Monday afternoon. I still have not played it. Just did not find the time. I still want to check it out. Don't get me wrong. And we will be checking it out because I think it's what we're playing this Tuesday. But simultaneously, there was not a lot of free time to scrape off the top this week. So I'm just hoping to ease off of the gas pedal a little bit and just, you know, take some time to smell the roses. Humbling Bundle is very good. I think this is exactly the situation where you start to realize that, you know, this is the HP. Like, we should start to talk about the fact that our dance partner might be who we're going home with here. It's a good way to describe it. We want as many Spirit Hearts as possible because we may pretty much just resemble this run for the rest of the game. Like, this might be where we're at 2 turntables and a microphone. So I'm happy with that, don't get me wrong. And we will now also make a bit of a push right there, but... Okay, 72% chance of a deal with the devil. What do we want to see? I would love to see an actual deal with the devil, Death's Touch. Piercing shots are going to take our Tammy's Head synergy to the next level here. And I think we could honestly find this being like one of the easiest cruises of the streak so far. We're fighting Mom at 15 minutes. That's way less about the fact that, you know, oh, we're rushing, and way more about the fact that we got 2 XL floors in a row. And, I mean, on this one, we found the boss on, like, the 3rd room. I'm lucky I didn't just fight the boss. Usually I just walk in and be like, oops, I forgot. Okay, take that. Fair to say we will not be getting piercing shots. However, that's not smart. I was just gonna say Tammy's Head Lump of Coal has got some solid work going on with it. Daddy Longlegs is good, but I don't know if it's good enough to do the fight here. And then you thought I was gonna miss that. Would have rather had 2 Spirit Hearts, but I was gonna say beggars can't be choosers, but I paid for that. I paid 2 bombs for that. Customers can sometimes be choosers. You think our generation is finally going to be the generation that kills the statement the customer is always right? I gotta tell you, I'm a streamer, I'm a YouTuber. My customer is very often wrong. I don't say that to be rude, like, oh, I'm smarter than you. But, like, sometimes they just say things that are, like, super wrong. They just say things that are, like, ridiculous. Like, hey, NL, have you ever considered pivoting your whole channel to playing 2007 era RuneScape? I think it could be a really good move for you. The game's really popular. I think people would love to see you play it. You're not wrong. By the literal definition of people, I'm sure there are people that would love to see me play it. As in, more than one person would love to see me play it. People in general? No, I don't believe so. I feel like my grandparents' generation was definitely like the customer is always right. My parents' generation is like the customer tends to be right. I feel like millennials and younger are like the customer, unless they're being grossly mistreated, should honestly just shut their mouth sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, because we're in a different sect of the industry here. I'm not saying, you know, if a company is spoon-feeding you garbage, you should be like, thank you, sir, may I have another. But I feel like if you're 55 and older, if you hear the phrase, can I speak to your manager? You're like, yeah, get him. Don't let the business get away with anything. If you're like 30 and younger, and you hear someone say, can I speak to your manager? You're like, what's wrong with this person? They're having a terrible day. Leave the retail staff alone. I maintain to this day, I have never asked to speak to somebody's manager. I can't imagine a situation in which I would. Especially in the era of online reviews. Rather than, and this is again, it paints me in a slightly more negative light than you might have expected with the moral high ground coming into this. But rather than speaking to someone's manager, I would much rather just give them a 1-star review on Google and cost them, you know, thousands of dollars worth of business by, you know, tanking their ranking as Vancouver's top sushi restaurant 2020 or whatever. That's the power the consumer holds, is that, you know, oh, excuse me, why is it taking 90 minutes for raw food to come out to us? And they go, and this is a real story that happened once. They go, well, if you wanted it fast, you should have ordered takeout. And I go, okay, I will see you never. And I will drive by your place of business occasionally, not on purpose, just when it's on my way to something else. And when I see a sign that says we're closing, I'll say, good. I'll say good. I'll consider that a small little victory. It's petty of me, I'll admit. You can't tell me. I know, because I know the internet's response. Oh, good that the servers lost their jobs too, just because the chefs were slow. Okay, I know what you're saying, but come on. You've never taken pleasure when like a piece of business is closed? Your first, if you've been mistreated by a business, or maybe they even scammed you, your first thought was, I feel bad for all the support staff. Come on, you're putting on airs. There's still a little bit of human being inside of you that's like, got him. Don't deny it. You can have, humans are complicated creatures. You can experience a cocktail of emotions simultaneously. You can be like, I feel bad for the cleaners, and also simultaneously be like, but I'm really glad the owner's taking some heat on that one, because that place sucked. Doesn't all have to be like, you know, trip over yourselves to be the most upset at everything. I'm telling you, this place blew, dude. Anyway. I really think I have complained about food, but like it's a once per decade thing. What happens to me more often is it gets uncomfortable, because like one of the last times Kate and I ate out, I was very careful with my phrasing on this one. You know, prior to the pandemic, we went to a Korean barbecue restaurant. And you're going to think this is a weird sentence, but it's just anecdotally what I have observed in Vancouver. We eat out at Korean restaurants fairly frequently. So this is also potentially just like almost a law of large numbers sort of thing. I would say when I order like a Diet Coke at a Korean restaurant, the odds of receiving my beverage are about 75%, which is below industry average. So I'm very used to having this conversation where I take the bill up to the front and I go, hey, by the way, my wife and I didn't get our drinks. And then they go, oh, no problem, and they take it off the bill. That happens, I would say, 1 in every 5 to 10 times. And you might say, well, why don't you just tell them where are the drinks? Because, like, I don't know, I'm like an aggressively empathetic millennial to service staff, I guess. My first thoughts are always like, they're probably busy, and they're waiting for the bartender to pour the can of soda into the glass, and then I'm going to be like, oh, by the way, did you forget our drinks? And they're going to be like, I was just about to bring them over, and now you've slowed me down, and everybody else's service has gotten worse, you know? So that... right or wrong, that's the stuff that goes through my head. And then by the time you're like, you know, the food's there, you're like, I don't even want it anymore. Now it's a matter of principle, right? But like that time, I took it up to the front and I went, hey, my wife and I didn't get our drinks, so can you take this off the bill? And he called the server over, and they were speaking Korean, and like, I don't speak Korean very well, but it was enough to be like awkward. You know, she was saying like jinja, which is like really, and then you know, mianhamnida, which is like I'm sorry, and I was like, why are you apologizing to him? You should be. I mean, I'm not demanding an apology, but you should be apologizing to me. He didn't go. He wasn't parched. He could have just reached into the fridge behind him. I was like, man, at that point, I was like, I should have just paid for the sodas. That would have been worth like the $2.75 for me to just get out of there without having that conversation. Not really. But like, it did cross my mind. I was like, actually, never mind. I made up the soda thing. We just drank them real fast and then hid the cans under the table so we could pull this elaborate ruse on you. The old classic, pretend not to get the sodas to save $2 off of a $70 dinner, huh? Korean barbecue is expensive here. Look. That's a pricey meal. I'm not going to apologize. I'm supporting local business, sweetheart. Maybe you've heard of it? Okay. You know what I'm about to say. We have now gotten ourselves into a position where sadly... Oh, we've already seen it. We're probably going to be completely fine. However, we're a little bit light on HP coming through the end here. And now that this has happened on 3 runs in a row, I start to ask myself if maybe the problem is me. I did throw away some HP that didn't have to be thrown. Definitely appreciate the Tears upgrade. This room is more than worth using the Empress on as well. So there really should be no cause for alarm at all. Especially now that we got 6 completely useless keys. But just a little part of me is like, you know what? This is where it would benefit us more than mildly, probably. Just to coast this one in, you know, like... Pay attention. This is not one where we want to be on the highway with cruise control on. This is one where we want to be like, you know what? Turn the radio down a little bit. Stop singing. The driving's getting a little spicy. Just take this one to its logical conclusion, please. Because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I have 3 runs today. None of them should have been a problem. All of them were slightly more problematic at one point or another than they should have been. Except this one so far. I think we managed to stop the bleeding on this one before it became even slightly dangerous. And I will apologize. Yet I understand, by the way, if you feel betrayed by the fact that I did not use the D4 at all on this run. I understand completely. Many times in the past, I would be like Johnny Knoxville or Stephen O. I would yeet myself for the approval of others. Now I've realized people don't want me to shove a firecracker up my urethra, light it, and then try to shoot it at a picture of a Hollywood celebrity. People don't want me to walk behind a jet engine while it turns on and get sucked into the turbine and yeet it out the front of it. The back of it? I don't know how engines work. People just want to hear how my day was. This was also the first weekend in a long time. There's no Ryan's movie recap. I didn't watch any movies this weekend. I didn't have the time. Watched a little bit of the news. You know, yada yada, don't go outside. Yada yada, don't touch your face, dummy. Come on, I've heard this one before. We've already done that bit though. We don't have to go back to that bit. You think there's anybody that no, it's not possible. I mean, I'm sure there's like people that maybe like have been on, you know, sabbatical or whatever that are unaware of the corona stuff. But you think that like, so Canada has like 36 million people. You think there's anybody in the country that is just somehow like they're a recluse and also they don't own a television? They're just unaware of what's happening right now until they go to the grocery store and they're like, whoa, why is everyone wearing masks here? That'd be a fun character to workshop a little bit during the pandemic. Man who doesn't know that there's a pandemic. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And then you extend your outstretched hand. My name's Carl. Coronavirus. Just wondering, when did the whole world lose its GD mind? I mean, people with masks, people standing approximately 2 meters apart. What's happening here? Alright, it turns out I've been told that character sucks and I should be ashamed for having thought of it. I apologize and thank you for your support. That's 60 wins in a row. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. I love to see it. Makes my day when I... Honestly, my YouTube workflow is I go to YouTube at night and then I like look at how videos did and I'm like, ooh, you know, 600 likes for that Northernlion tries. Won't be playing that again. When I see like 1,400 likes on an Isaac episode, I'm like, that makes me feel good. When I feel good, I sleep well. When I sleep well, I wake up and I make better Isaac episodes, thus continuing this incredible Fleetwood Mac style chain. Let's set a goal on this one. I'm going to say that this was a B+ Isaac episode worthy of 1,350 likes. If you can help me get there, thank you. If you go, that's icky, I understand. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!